Before there was a sun, before there were stars, before there was time as we know it, there was darkness. Not the quiet, peaceful darkness of night, but a deep, endless, oppressive void. There was no direction, no warmth, no hope. And then, without warning, a voice spoke into the silence, a voice of absolute authority. God spoke, "Let there be light." That single command shattered the darkness forever. This is not just the story of creation. It is the story of every human heart that has ever stood between light and shadow, searching for a way out. The book of Genesis opens with words that feel ancient, heavy, and mysterious. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. Imagine that for a moment. Nothing moved, nothing lived. No fire danced, no wind whispered. There was only a profound, silent, and absolute darkness. It ruled everything, a canvas with no color, a world with no life. Many ancient cultures and mythologies, including some Celtic traditions, believed darkness and light were equal, opposing forces forever locked in a cosmic balance, a perpetual war. But Scripture tells a radically different story. Darkness is not a rival to God. Darkness isn't a power that contends with Him. Darkness is simply the absence of His presence, the absence of His light. And here's the critical part. God does not negotiate with darkness. He doesn't reason with it or fight it on its own terms. He speaks. Think about the power in that moment. God does not craft light with tools. He doesn't build it piece by piece. He does not summon it through some elaborate ritual or sacrifice. He simply speaks one sentence, "Let there be light." And instantly, darkness retreats. Light doesn't just appear. It floods the void. It doesn't arrive gradually or cautiously. It arrives completely, in an explosive, definitive act of sovereign power. This singular moment sets the tone for the entire biblical narrative. Light does not struggle to overcome darkness. Darkness simply collapses. It disintegrates the moment light arrives. This is not myth. This is theology. It's a foundational truth about the nature of God and the world He made. And notice something profound. God creates light on day 1, but He creates the sun, the moon, and the stars on day 4. What does this tell us? It tells us that light is not dependent on objects. It isn't a byproduct of a burning star. True light, original light, flows directly from God Himself. Later, the Apostle John confirms this very truth when he writes, "God is light. In Him there is no darkness at all." Light is not something God uses like a tool. Light is who God is. It's His very nature. So, this brilliant, life-giving light fills creation. Humanity is made to live in this light, to walk openly with their Creator, without fear, without shame. The garden is a place of perfect communion, bathed in the presence of God. But sin enters the world. And what is the very first human reaction to sin? They hide. They cover themselves. They willingly step back into the shadow, choosing darkness over the light they were made for. Suddenly, darkness becomes more than just a physical absence of light. It becomes spiritual. It's the home of fear, which replaces trust. It's the fog of confusion, which replaces clarity. And ultimately, it's the domain of death, which enters the very place where life once ruled. The connection is made. Sin, shame, and fear all thrive in the dark. Yet, even as humanity retreats into shadow, God does not abandon them. He doesn't turn His back. Instead, He begins a rescue plan, a divine mission to bring His people back into the light. Throughout the Old Testament, this theme of light appears again and again as a beacon of hope. We see a burning bush that is not consumed by its own flame. We see a pillar of fire, a towering column of divine light, guiding the nation of Israel through the desolate wilderness at night. We see the Shekinah glory, the glowing presence of God Himself, so brilliant and powerful it fills the temple. These are not just miracles. They are reminders that God is still present, still piercing the darkness. The prophet Isaiah declares, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned." Light was becoming more than just a memory of creation. It was becoming a promise. Not just a symbol, but a coming person. For centuries, the world waits. Empires rise and fall. Kings rule and vanish. Cultures create their own festivals, celebrating the return of seasonal light like the winter solstice, desperately hoping to push back the encroaching darkness. But it's a temporary fix. The physical sun may return, but the human heart remains in shadow. The world was longing for a dawn that no star could bring. Then, in a quiet, overlooked town called Bethlehem, the true light enters the world. Not as a pillar of fire, not as a blinding glory in a temple, but as a helpless child. The Gospel of John opens with words that deliberately echo Genesis, bringing the story full circle. In the beginning was the Word. And then comes the declaration that changes history forever. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. This is the ultimate fulfillment. Jesus does not just bring light with him, he is the light. Where he walks, physical blindness ends as he touches the eyes of the blind. Where he speaks, his truth pierces through the lies and confusion of the age. Where he enters a life, darkness flees. He redefines our understanding of light. Jesus directly confronts the powers of darkness. He encounters demons, and they recognize him instantly, crying out in terror because the light has invaded their territory. He speaks words of forgiveness, and the heavy weight of guilt and shame simply collapses. He stands before tombs and calls the dead back to life, proving that even the ultimate darkness, death itself, has lost its authority in his presence. The darkness fought back. It gathered its full strength and tried to extinguish the light on a cross. For a moment, it seemed to have won. The sky grew dark, the earth shook, and the light of the world was laid in a tomb. But 3 days later, the stone was rolled away. The tomb was empty. Light has won. Death was defeated. The darkness did not and could not overcome it. After his resurrection, Jesus makes a declaration that is not just for his disciples, but for all humanity, for you and for me. He says, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." This is not poetic language or a distant metaphor. It is a real and present promise. It means that no shadow in your life is too deep for him. No past is too stained. No night of the soul is too long. The darkness of anxiety, of grief, of addiction, of hopelessness does not have the final say. Where Christ enters, light remains. The world still has places that love darkness. People still choose to hide, but the light is still shining, and it shines for you, not through seasons or rituals, not through fire or festivals. It shines through the person of the living Christ. The very same voice that shattered the primordial darkness with the command, "Let there be light," is still calling hearts out of darkness today. He is calling to you. Darkness never wins. It only waits. It waits until the light arrives. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be searching for the light.